Oh, don't worry about me.
Oh no, I don't. Right then, Jeff, here we are back in your workshop, and today, in fact, is the last day I can visit you for a while, because tomorrow we're in second wave lockdown, which in theory means I'm not allowed here. But today, apparently, we're fine. We're all safe, so whatever. Right, so if I look on your workbench, there's lots going on. We've got a supercharger. We've got.
I've been keeping myself busy.
You see, like you do. And here we've got your billet bottom end.
Our billet.
Our,
yeah.
Yes, which you made a long time ago now, about 10 years ago.
Well, actually, I've come to look at it and.
Is it going all dusty or something?
Because we're going to press all the bits. I've got all the bits laid out, and I was just going through it one at evenings. So, all the bits are machined. These are actually, funnily enough, while we're on, these are all pretty much.
These are standard.
These are all Kawasaki crank parts,
yes,
but with a thing. They're completely. Well, they're not knackered. No. Well, they are if you want to run a standard bearing on them.
Which we don't.
What we're doing, we're machining sleeves to go over them.
Yes. And
converting it to shells.
Shell bearings.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's a long time ago now. But didn't you find some shell bearings from a blooming Hillman Imp or something?
Yeah, we've got them.
A Hillman Imp race car, a rally car back from the 1960s.
That's
apparently at the same size.
I've got a full. Well, obviously, I've got the second-hand Imp shells there, which. This is where my thinking was going.
Yes, back about 10 years ago.
Obviously, they want the cranks will need boring for them.
Yeah.
We'll have to try and sort out some. See if we can get some new ones.
I'm sure you can. Hillman Imps are quite popular still, aren't they?
But then you can get shells remetalled and.
Oh yeah.
So nothing that can't be sorted with time and money.
However, am I not clear? I mean, these things normally in a Kawasaki Z run quite low oil pressures in comparison to plain bearing cranks. So I take it you've got a high pressure.
Well, the pump's already on.
That's right. That's
the oil pump.
Down there somewhere you've got a separate.
There's a scavenge pump, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
right down there beneath a supercharger, way down there, being driven by a belt, of course, and so that will boost up the oil pressure to what's required. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So that's what's happening there, and.
But when we did this,
yes. Well,
this is the tricky part.
Yes.
What happens is you get a shell. You get that all on shells, and because it's the drive. What's happening is because it's pulling.
Yes.
It puts a lot of load on the shell.
Yes.
So what I did when I was having a route in bearings,
you find a massive.
What we're going to do, we can get away with it. Probably most people now have probably fallen asleep. We have these
rather large bearings.
Brand new rollers.
Expensive.
Which the only snag is we'll have to machine them, press them on, press the bearing on. The case that end case will have to be opened out to suit that.
Yeah. So where's this from then? This is the drive.
I've machined all these up because we were going to put shells on it, but I thought have two roller bearings at each end. Because your oil can go in through your two centre ones here to feed, and the middle ones to feed your four inner mains, and obviously to feed your big ends via your two inner the inner journals.
Okay.
So basically, you'll have them enormous rollers at each end. They'll have seals on them.
Yeah.
Basically, with the oil that's coming out of them, there'll be enough oil going around to splash. You only need a splash feed on them.
Yeah.
There'll be enough oil coming out of there to lubricate them.
Okay.
So, because you can't run a high pressure if you try and put too much oil.
It'll squirt out, won't it?
If you try and overfeed a roller bearing, they start to skid. Yes. If you put too much oil pressure in.
Yeah.
So basically, that's what.
So what's caused you just to suddenly get this out after X number of years? You're just bored with you?
No, I feel that it's time.
It's time.
Whether it gets finished, and
it's actually for that
if I can't afford to ride it, I'm afraid at this moment it may have to go up for. If I can't afford it,
well,
it's what else do you do? Throw it all away?
No, you finish the damn thing.
You've more chance of selling it or doing something by finishing it.
Indeed.
So
right, so next to that, of course, is then a supercharger.
Oh, that was just... You mentioned them 90s and
yes,
I dragged it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a comment on an old video I made some time ago.
And this was sat on it with some plate, and I thought, I'll just whiz I'll just put the manifold on it.
Right.
Because technically this could go on that spares bike.
Yes. Not
the spares bike, all the other bits.
Oh, I lose track of your various projects that I've never...
What I'm trying to do is put some things together and hopefully sell as a job lot.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Right, so that's what we've been up to.
Unless I croak in between, which then...
Oh, you could win the lottery, you never know. And then your trouble.
And then everything, you just get a skip. And
yes. Now, behind that, I see you've got something in a bag over there in the corner.
That's
that you've been working on. Yes, so let's grab that.
I didn't want to be bringing it out.
No, well, leave it in the bag then. Leave it in the bag.
It's all in the bag.
I'll bring the bag over. Let's see what's in the bag. It's a clear bag, without disturbing it in any way.
All the web. It's a rebuilt with brand new rods.
Yes.
Seals and bearings. A KH 250 crank.
Yes.
Kawasaki.
Yeah. Yeah, because your
KH 250 crank.
Your Les has been rebuilding his...
I don't want to be taking it out because...
His RD250 for a long time. That's almost finished, and now he's going to start on a very old KH250.
And as we know on here at the minute, there's tiny bits.
Yeah, you don't want to let...
I can't afford to get anything on it.
No.
So I don't want to be taking it out of the bag.
So that's kept you busy recently. Anything else that's been going on recently? No, a nice man's just turned up and left you a frame.
Oh, I've just got to finish welding that and doing that.
He races what is it, a Z650?
Z650 Mark, yeah.
Mark with a Z750 engine in it.
Yeah.
And he races it in some sort of classic short circuit races. Good for him. So you did some work on that frame. Anything happening with the drag bikes I see next to you?
Yeah, with the crank, I made 2 cranks. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
with an output. I didn't have the output drive on it.
No.
This one's done in this, but
that's this one.
I built another one which is there.
Hang on, let's have a look. Oh, hang on, I'll have to spin round.
And what I've done.
Let's just walk back a little bit, squeeze back, just a minute.
We've got a web.
Leave my cup of tea behind, and you'll just have to get me tripod sorted out. Right, okay, so I've refocused. So that's your crank. And what's this going to be for?
Well, originally, this web wasn't on. But here where the gear was, I'd actually fitted another one of them because it was having the splined output. But then I thought, well, we're doing this bottom end. There's no point in having a spare crank. So what I've done, I've took the web off. It did have...
Hang on, where's he on?
It did have that on it. It was welded. That was originally on.
You ground it off.
With another one of them taking its place because we didn't need the gear drive.
And that's because the big Kawasaki drag bike has a separate gearbox.
We've got another shaft like that with a splined output that we were going to put on it.
Yes.
But
it's belt drive, of course.
But because I thought I'll use this crank that's got these bush rods and everything for either the spares or the comp bike or
whatever
one. So
that's now been built.
I've now pressed this on. You can actually see there where I've took the other web off. You can see how it's ripped the weld off, and I've had to get that back on.
Okay, so that's now more standardish crank.
This will be a standard crank, but I've got to clean that weld out of there. I'll have to grind it out.
Yes.
And then it can go on this end and re-weld it on. So you've got 2 tapers.
Right.
i.e. for supercharger drive and all sorts.
Or whatever.
So. Yeah, that one's been pressed on. So what I've got to do now is just sort of true it up. It's running out about 10 thou, so I've got to true it up.
Which is why it's on this stand.
I don't know if it's on there, if you can actually see it. If you get it on there, you can actually
watch it. Oh yeah, it's not too bad, is it?
Oh, it's actually
not too bad. I thought it's about 5, is it? About 5 thou?
4, 5 thou.
Yeah.
You have to work out which way, and then you have to get all the bloody thing on a piece of sponge, whack it with a copper hammer, back on.
You know, it seems very crude to me that, but it works.
Well, do you have no other way of doing it?
No.
Oh, the big copper hammer's in there. That's a copper hammer.
Yes.
I've got I think it's a 6 pounder or a 3 kilo or whatever it is.
Whatever.
And sometimes a small crank, a very small moped you can do.
Yes.
But these bloody things, these Kawa cranks, you
need a big hammer.
Well,
some weight
you need to hold it, and actually you can't hold. It's better off having it laying on a piece of sponge.
Yes.
And just hold it, and whichever way that needs to go, just go.
Bang.
Dink.
Yes.
And people think, and that'll move it. It's surprising the sudden shock how things it'll go.
Yes.
So basically, we've got to true that up till we've got it to within like well, sometimes you can get it. If you can get it to within half a thou, I think you're going to be. It'll be
fine.
Good, yeah. So.
Right.
You know, then I've got to weld this up before that one goes back on.
Yeah, we can't see that, but it's a bit of a mess, isn't it?
You can actually, well, it's tore the weld off. I don't know where the weld went. You can actually see how it's ripped the weld off the shaft of the crank.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't matter because when you re-weld it, you can
clean it up a little bit.
You can actually.
Yeah, you can see there.
You can see it's actually ripped the surface of the wet off.
Yeah, it's all rough with my fingers.
Yeah.
Okay.
It took it took about 15 tons to crack the weld.
I bet it did, yeah. Right, so let me go back over here.
That's that way.
Yeah.
So the shearing,
yeah,
with it being pressed on.
It ain't going anywhere, is it?
Well, it's with the bike wherever it goes.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong crank anyway. Right, yeah. So there's that, and
all the bits of the crank there to machine it are there.
Right, okay, and then here, of course, we've got
double off.
Yeah, you've been busy.
Oh, they were all that was all done.
Yes, yes. And then this is the old Honda drag bike. Anything happen to this?
I've just got to do some bits. I'm trying to do odd jobs and get other things out of the way.
Yes.
I'm just setting the miller up now to scoop them cases out.
Well, look. Oh yeah. Look at that. Now that brings back some memories because I remember you doing that some time ago. But before we move on from the Honda, here's an offer for you, Jeff. What? When my Kawasaki frame is ready to be powder coated, which hopefully be in another month or so, I've got to take it down to Triple S in Bingley over in Yorkshire. And when I do, makes sense, if you want me to, I can take that and get it done as well in bright red.
Which, the Honda?
Yes, but of course you'll need to get them both ready to rock about the same time.
It could do with doing, but
what's holding things up?
I've got a few. Well, like you say, I want to do this tank mount.
The tank mount, for which you need to do the tank first.
Yeah, what I need to do is I can tape something on. I need to break that tube, that steel tube there needs to go on there.
That's right.
But what I need to do is put a couple of tabs on here. I need to clamp that on, and I need to slide. And what I need to do is to know that I can. That's why you couldn't make the tank full depth, because you've
got to get it in and out.
You need to do that.
Okay.
Push it in and then lift it up and then bolt through.
Okay.
So I need to make sure.
Do you have to have the tank finishing at the back before you can do that?
Well, what I could do is duct tape something on. You know, as long and maybe I could put a couple of make a couple of little aluminium things in small alley with a hole, and just sort of duct tape it on to as long as it's within a mil or two. And then I'll know when I drop it, as long as it does that and comes out.
Yeah, okay, well.
It'll be fine. That's the only thing I've got to do.
Alright, well that'll give you a little
and then I can clamp, once
target date to be done.
I can weld.
And is that the only thing you need to do now for this frame before it can go away to the pound
no, I've just got to put them little brackets on here.
Alright, you've got some brackets.
Yeah. But I need to weld, I need to go around them.
Okay.
Before I put them little cross pieces in, or you won't be able to get at it to do it.
Okay.
I think I've got that. I've got them made.
Right.
I think they're still over here. There they are.
Oops.
I've just got to finish trimming them.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember which way they go. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Either that.
Braces.
It's either that way or that way. I don't think it really matters which way they go on.
No. Okay. Well, anyway.
And so basically, when your seat unit comes down to here, we can use that. Them couple of holes are just to get some weight off it.
Yeah, yeah. You can mount it with that.
Yeah.
Right.
So they'll be welded on here.
Okay. Well, crack on, lad, and we can get this thing powder coated red for you. Bright red, Honda red or whatever. It saves a trip to powder coaters. Sod that. We'll powder coat it. At least this one's not long enough. This will fit in there.
It will, because originally when Les took it, when them original tubes were on, I wanted just because it had wrinkled. In fact, there where it's welded, it's got a couple of wrinkles.
Oh well.
But the thing is, by the time you've got everything on it,
no, you won't notice. You won't notice.
I'm just being a little bit too picky.
Well, you are. Yeah. You're not in the position to be picky.
No. Well.
No.
Anyway,
so that's sorry. Now, anyway, more excitingly, I've seen something that I last saw about 10 years ago.
Is it 10 years?
10 years ago, probably. Yeah, more than that. No, more than that. 12 bloody years ago, when you were first machining out that crank case over there.
Well, I've got to reset these up.
And the way you did it was quite interesting. So I see you're repeating the process.
Yeah, I just set it up
there.
Yeah.
So let's go and see it, and people will be amazed at how you did it. Right. So we've now come over to your miller, and on its bed is a crankcase half. That no doubt that's one of the ones you made some time ago.
Yeah.
With your homemade cutter.
Well, I remember years ago Dave ground all the teeth off it, and we've just left one on it, and it's radiused. It's just a one-tooth cutter.
Yes.
And it actually works very well.
Yes, I remember
because it's done. It did them.
Yes.
And it's done the top half, bottom half, sorry, of the comp bike cases. Yes. This is the top half of the comp bike cases. We did mill out so much with the turret mill.
Yes.
And step it down to remove a fair bit.
So why is it back on here again then?
Well, I want to finish scooping them out.
Right. Now, as a little reminder, didn't you actually carry on scooping away a bit too far?
On that one.
Oh, on that one.
Yeah, well, they're 3 inch. This is 3. This is.
No, but didn't you end up putting a scoop in the bed itself? Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. It's actually quite surprising it's strong enough to do it. And you didn't realise that.
And I didn't realise.
And it's been there ever since.
But this isn't going down as far.
No.
Plus,
I'm actually surprised that bloody cutter could do that to a bed. I mean, the beds are very hard, isn't it?
No, they're not. They're only cast. I think a lot of these modern ones might be hardened to a degree, but
anyway, lesson learnt. Lesson learnt.
So you're now positioned. Yeah.
So you're now just scooping that out.
Well, I've got to clamp this on, which is causing a big problem because I don't just want to put clamps on there, because if that moves, that is I don't know how do you know?
I've got a photograph.
Trying to go back.
I've got a photograph of how you did it.
Yeah, but I think I clamped it on the bed, but I can't put anything through here. I may have just had clamps on them. And you're always thinking, if something moves or slips, if that's what it...
Well, hopefully it won't slip and move.
Yeah.
So what else can you do then?
Well, the only other thing you can do is to turn it over, work out all your stud holes,
thread bolt it through.
Then make a adapter plate that fits on, say...
Yes. Yeah, and then goes straight across.
So your adapter plate comes out and have 4 mounting holes that hold it on.
But do you know where those holes are going to be? I mean, that seems like a...
Well, you've got to use the cylinder head mounting holes. So...
I take it we're using the Kawasaki standard mounting holes.
It'll be the Zephyr.
Oh, the Zephyr, because they're a bit stronger, aren't they?
They're amazing.
Yeah, because a long time ago you made some of these things with a non-standard pattern, didn't you? It didn't match anything. The head.
Oh, that's that.
That's that one. That's that one there. That's that one down there. Yeah, we won't talk about that one.
But with that case there, there's a few resonance marks in it. And what happens is, because that cutter, you can only do 2 at a time.
Yes.
What we've got to do is, when we've done that, is then obviously spin that round 180.
And do the other 2.
And the only way we can work out what we've got to keep doing is the way I did it, is actually as it's turning, they're just perfect to go in where the crank
oh right, okay. So they sit in there.
So basically what I do is obviously go up.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, even with machines like this, once your lock's off, there's always
a little bit of chatter.
As long as it's neat and it's, obviously you don't want the machining to be miles out.
No.
But what we'll do is just wind it up so that cutter just goes down to the correct depth.
Yeah.
Well, you just got to keep doing it, going across, back, to. It can take you a long time.
And if you make one mistake, it's scrap, which is always a bit stressful.
Well, this is why.
Okay, so
I was going to make that adapter plate.
Right.
Well, the stud holes have got to go in.
Anyway.
Right. So that was my next step, to do it on that, because I need to do it on that miller.
Oh yes,
to put our stud holes in.
Oh yes, you can't do it anywhere else. Right, so that's keeping you quite busy.
So
hopefully. Yes.
Yeah. Plus, what we're going to, that is what, if you, because that gets a touch of resonance on it. What my idea was, well, that's tightened at the, oh, it's not tightened at the minute. Whether that'll pull out, yes, it will.
Oh, hang on. Now what are you doing?
We can't use the original arbor because it's too big. So what I want to do is, as long as is make a piece of aluminium plate, triangular.
Yeah.
I need
to and sort of support
I need to bore that there. Hopefully, well, it could be a piece of, it doesn't matter. I'm going to try and drill 2 holes in here.
Yeah.
Tap that,
so it's like a support,
make a small bush in a piece of aluminium plate.
Yeah, like a support plate from the top.
Well, as long as the plate's been milled round and the bush is there, as long as it's no bigger for the 180, or you know, there, it doesn't matter what bloody the rest of the shape matters. As long as it, what it's going to do is take that little bit of a whip
right,
out
it's
of
going to support the end.
Yeah.
Like an end bearing.
Because the original arbor ends, obviously to support, well, the machine isn't big enough to do it with that on.
Okay.
It'd be right out.
Yeah.
Out. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So we can make it's surprising, maybe even like a piece of 10mm plate with just that in it. Drill 2 holes. It probably float a bit. Once that's nipped up, it'll take that little bit of that. You know, long as just
vibration, whatever.
Squirt a bit of oil on it, and that's it.
Okay.
It'll just take that whip.
Well, I'll come back next time I can come back, and we'll see your progress, and hopefully.
That's just on it. I've got to put a key in that yet. I was just working out. You've got to get every position right. Because it's got to go up, and then I suddenly realised if it's not coming out far enough, it's going to hit that.
Yes.
So
which you don't want.
Even there now, it might be a bit close. We might have to come out to. Well, I know we've got the movement on it because we've done one. So, but you've got to get all the positioning right, so that you don't suddenly want to be doing it and find out, oh, sugar, I can't quite come far enough.
Screwed up. Okay. Right. So we've been quite busy this week. As I say, today's the last day I'm allowed here, in theory. Although that said, I suppose we're not supposed to be what's the word? Mingling our households. But I'm not in your household, I'm in your workshops. That might be, I don't know. Perhaps that's a business type thing, I don't know. I'm a customer and you're the supplier. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Right, anything else while we're here then, Jeff?
No, that's basically what I've been up to. I've got to get that
all your little things there, look. All your bits and bobs. Right, so with that then, Jeff, I'll come back when I can, when I'm allowed to. Oops, and we'll see how things have progressed.